All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and blessings to you, Akyam, that are out there doing the work in truth and sincerity and helping to wake up the elect across the four corners of the planet, of the round planet Earth. All right. And I am the brother Awar Ba, Great Millstone, Dallas, coming back to you again with another lesson. Okay. And today's topic that I'm going to be going into is just proving that the virgin birth is hogwash. All right. And today we're going to be proving that all through the Spirit, all through, the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And we're going to be doing that with, just proving it through the lineage, the lineage of Yahweh Shai. And we're going to be going into that. And Lord willing, this lesson is going to be edifying. Okay. Because, how the Christian church comes out, they've put up a whole lot of lies and heresies, and their doctrine is just madness. Okay. And they're totally set up contrary to the Holy Scriptures. So today, let's bring out some good edification. All right. So the first thing that I want to prove to you, or how we're going to go into this, is with the book of the Wisdom of Solomon. So with that, we're going to be using our Apocrypha. Okay. So we're going to go into that. And we're going to go and pull up the book of the Wisdom of Solomon. Okay. And we're going to go into the 7th verse. And we're going to start at, we're going to start at 1. Or 7th chapter, start at 1. Okay. And it says, this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 verse, or chapter 7 verse 1. Salakia. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and of the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. Okay, and who's the offspring of him that was first made on the earth? We already know that's talking about Adam, aka Yahweh Shai, man. He was the first spirit ever made. Okay, let's continue. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be, keyword, in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man. Okay, and we all know what the seed of man is, correct? That is sperm. Okay? Right. Somebody had to bust a nut. Okay? Let's continue. Of the seed of man, and the pleasure that came with sleep. So we already know that that's talking about sex. Verse 3. And when I was born, I drew in the common air and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature. And the first voice which I uttered was crying as all others do. Okay? I was nursed in swaddling clothes, and that with cares, for there is no king that hath any other beginning of birth. All right? For all men have one entrance unto life, and the like going out. All right? So first thing you got to understand there, King Solomon was one of the wisest, if not the wisest man on the face of the earth. Okay, that ever walked, other than Yahweh Shai himself. Okay, and so with that, take a look at verse 5 there. For it says, for there is no king that hath any other beginning of birth. Okay, and so we already know who the world so calls Jesus Christ as, a king of the Jews, or king of kings, right? Okay, and that's just been told throughout history. Well, Let's clarify who Solomon is. Let's verify who he really is. Okay, let's go in and check the credits of Solomon real quick. Okay, actually, before I do that, no, I'm just gonna go ahead and roll with the Spirit. So how we're gonna verify King Solomon is we're gonna go to 1 Kings, chapter 4, and we're gonna go to the 29th verse. Okay, and so now we're finna get the credentials about King Solomon. This is how we're gonna check his references. All right, and so it says, and the Most High gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much, and the largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country, and all the wisdom of Egypt. for he was wiser than all men. So, of course, was King Solomon just talking gibberish whenever he broke that down and he said that there will be no other king? There will be no other way that a king can come into existence? Okay? So, that's one way that, that's going to cut that virgin birth doctrine. Okay? And so, let's take a look into the lineage. Okay? Let's take a look of the lineage of who the world so calls Jesus Christ, okay? Also known as Yahushua. That is his real name according to the scriptures, okay? So how we're going to do this is first let's look into lineage, all right? And how we're going to prove that lineage comes through the father's line instead of the mother, because, there are some people out there that spread lies and have a strong hold up that everything goes through the mom. Well, let's go to Numbers. Let's go to the law. Okay, we're going to go to Numbers, the first chapter and the 18th verse. Okay, and then how we're going to prove this is, and it says, Numbers 1 and 18, and it says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. Okay? By the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by the poll. So basically, within Israel, you are known by your father's lineage, man, and that's how they determined what tribe you came from or what tribe you were in. So that's how you were marked in the registry, and that's how they used that and figured out who you were, or who you belong. Even when you had all of the high holy feast days and things of that nature, whenever you'd go to sign in or check in, they'd go into the registry and they'd look you up to see, who you belong to. They would verify who you really were by the house of your fathers. Okay, so how do we link this to Yahushua? Well, we first know by the scriptures, going to Hebrews. Okay, the 7th chapter, and I believe it's the 11. No, let's start 14. Boom. Okay, so this tells us right here what tribe that Yahushua was from, and it says, "For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood." Okay, so we got the information now that, Yahushua came out of the line of Judah. All right, well, of course, where did the line of Judah start? Okay, it had to start from somewhere else. All right, and so, of course, if the Lord sprang out of the line of Judah, well, you had to know that the line of Judah came from, the forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, but of course, we know that Yahushua came from the line of Jesse and the King David. Okay, well, King David came out of the root of Jesse. Okay, so that was his father, his forefathers. And how do we prove that? Okay, we'll go to the book of Isaiah. All right, and one thing that I want to tell you, or I want to mention, is there's multiple ways that brothers have done and proven that the virgin birth is just whack, it's hogwash, okay, and that it's not true. They've done it with the through the virgin, the word virgin, and there's a couple of breakdowns that are in there, but with this topic, I'm just basically going into the lineage to debunk this lie. Okay, so we're gonna get Isaiah 11 and 10, and it says, "In that day there shall be a root of Jesse." Now this is a prophecy, okay? "In that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall Gentiles seek, and the rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand against the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left of his people." Key word, of his people, "which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt," and so on and so forth, okay? And if you go into verse 12, it obviously tells you of the prophecies that are to come and that have happened. All right, and so it basically is talking about Yahushua. Okay, so that root of Jesse is talking about Yahushua. All right. So it is evident, guys, that you cannot have a lineage without someone having sex and birthing you a certain way. Okay, but we're going to continue to prove this throughout the scriptures, okay, and through lineage. All right. And so how I'm going to do that, this is going to be the exact cut of this. Of course, you can go into Chronicles, and you can go into Chronicles starting at the first chapter and the first verse, and it goes into all of the lineages of the people of the earth. Okay, even the so-called heathen nations. You know, it goes into the lineages of Cush all the way down to Arphaxad, and then it even has the dukes of Edom in here. Okay, right here as you go down to the first Chronicles, first chapter, you got Abraham, Isaac, and the sons of Isaac and Israel, which is Jacob. You know, and so it goes into all of the lineage. Okay, even into the second chapter, breaks it all the way down there. Okay, but how we're going to find Yahushua lineage is we go to the book of Matthew. Okay, let's go to the New Testament on these guys. We're going to go to the book of Matthew, the first chapter and the very first verse. All right, now this is the Tori Hanzo cut to these Christians. Okay, it says the book of the generation of Yahushua Hamashiach, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Okay, and it goes into the lineage. Abraham begot Isaac, Isaac begot Jacob, Jacob begot Judas and his brethren, and then it goes all the way down into this one, down in the sixth. And it tells the lineage of King David. And Jesse begot David the king, and David the king begot Solomon, of her that had been the wife of Urias. And Solomon begot Rehoboam, and so forth, and all the way down. Okay? And so it goes into the lineage of Yahushua. Okay? Boom. Now, also, I want to go into this part of it, you know, when it talks about Mary and Joseph, you know, which Joseph was Yahushua's father. You know, I'm going to go into the 19th chapter, or not 19th chapter, Salakia, but I'm going to go into the 18th verse. Okay, and I want to highlight something in this. Okay, because a lot of people will skim over this and say, look and see, this is what I told you, that she never had sex. Okay, well, let's figure this out. Now it says the birth of Yahushua Hamashiach was on the wise, and when his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph. Okay, so let's go into the blue letter real quick. Let's look up that word espoused. Okay, so we're gonna go to the Matthew 1 and the 18th verse. Okay, and we're gonna look up that word espoused. All right, because you got to go into the etymology of words. All right, and you got to also know what marriage means. Okay, according to the scriptures. All right, so this word, we're going to go into the Greek on this one, espoused. All right, let's let Esau get it.
Strong's G 3423, menestuo.
Menestuo means to woo her, to ask her in marriage, to be promised in marriage, to be betrothed. So, little as you know, some people may not know that Israelites had a ceremony that they did, and they gave away their daughters. And before sex actually happened, they had a ceremony of marriage, to where you go in and you were betrothed to a husband or a wife, and that's where you become one flesh, is when you go in and you pop her. You pop the woman. You have a marriage. Okay. And so how do we know that is accurate? Let's actually go into that word marriage. All right. So we're going to go like this. We're just going to go marriage. Okay. Boom. And let's look at this one right here. Exodus 21. Okay. Exodus 21. And it's talking about the duty of marriage. Okay. So we're going to get the interlinear of that real quick in the law. Okay. The duty of marriage. And that word marriage right there means, or
Strong's H 5772. Onah.
Onah,
Onah.
which means cohabitation, a conjugal right, conjugal rights. And if you don't understand what conjugal means, that means to have sex, man. Okay, let's go down here to the Strong's definition of it. Onah, from an unused root, apparently meaning to dwell together, a sexual cohabitation or a cohabitation, the duty of marriage. So that's plain to see, guys, that Joseph and Mary had sex. Okay, so what it was talking about in Matthew's, okay, let's go back to the book of Matthew. Okay, and we'll end it off on this. Matthew 1 and the 18th verse. Okay. Now the birth of Yahushua was on the wise, when as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, meaning before they came together she was found with the child of Holy Ghost. That basically meant she wasn't yet given to him by his parents ceremonially, or by the parents ceremonially yet. But he had went in and they had fooled around and had sex before the ceremony. Okay? And that's why it says in verse 19, then Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privately. Okay? So what he was doing was he didn't want to get found out. That they had been messing around prior to the service that they were supposed to have, and been made an embarrassment, man. So that's ultimately what that's going into. Okay, and so that's where I'm going to end on that. I hope this lesson was edifying, and I'm going to give again all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to you, Akyam, you sincere Akwat that are out there that are listening and doing the work of the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. With that, I'm going to say Shalom.